Morning and welcome to Gardening 36547. Now I'm in the greenhouse and I'm really hoping that this week's plant of the week is tomatoes. These are my sort of greenhouse tomatoes. I planted them quite early, so that's why they're so big at the moment. But I have planted some more last week. Gardener's Delight and Elsa Craig, and these are Hertz Fiora, okay, which are a tomato that's almost been designed to grow quite early. So those are my tomatoes. And just dug the very last of last year's leeks out. Fantastic overwinter crop, so brilliant. And now that gives me an opportunity to put the last few onions in. And here's a good little hack. You've probably seen these done somewhere else, but I'll show you how I do them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put the camera up and try and do it sort of without holding the camera. I'll see how we go. Bear with me. So I've got an A4 piece of paper, might be slightly bigger. What I'm going to do is just fold it in half. The top edge I use as the top edge of the pot. So what I do is I put the top edge sort of there, and there's no speed in the video for this, so this is how long they take. Roll it round, try and level it up as much as I can. Don't worry about the edge at all. Then from the bottom, just fold it in. It's quite tough paper that I'm using. Fold it in, slide it out, and there is your little green pot. Excuse the pun, green. Totally recyclable, dual purpose life for this piece of paper. And they are just perfect now for if you're giving them away to anybody. And the great thing about them is when you get them back home, all you need to do is to bury everything you've got there, including the paper, in the soil, and they'll grow. What a great little hack. And here's another little great hack. I want some coriander to go into my Indian spice garden. This cost 50 pence from Asda. What I'm going to do is put it in some soil, and when it warms up a bit, I'll put it outside in the garden and it will grow great. And I'll have coriander all year round. Well, all this year, not all the year round, because it's not frost hardy, I don't think anyway. But certainly for the rest of the season, fresh coriander for 50 pence. And it's all potted up now and having some desperately needed water. So I'll keep you updated of the coriander. And the last of my currants, they're now in my homemade paper pots. Another hack that you saw, and waiting to go to a new home. And the wrapper from the coriander is 100% recycled and plastic free, so that'll be ripped up for compost. And good news, I finally finished filling raised bed 1. So now raised bed 2 is full, raised bed 3 is full. A little bit more to do when the brassica comes out, and raised bed 5 is full, and raised bed 6 is full. So finish the soil preparation there, and now the next major soil prep area is to do pod 2 in the greenhouse. So that will be horse muck, compost and some garden soil. Now one thing I don't think I told you, I was recently given 4 builder's bags full of well rotted horse muck. So those will be used very much in the garden. So thank you to the person that gave them to me, and they will be put to good use. And it really is black gold, so I'll be breaking some of that up for the top surface in the greenhouse and mixing it with some soil and compost. And just to show you what I'm trying to do in the greenhouse, a layer of rough compost, then on top of that a layer of well rotted horse muck, and on top of that broken up soil and fine compost. And that should give me a really good mix to put my tomato pots on. And the weather today is sunshine and snow. Not normal, surely. And getting water out of the IBC. Now the big IBC reveal will be on next week's Gardening 365, but at the moment we have water out of the IBC, which is great. And just before we go in, some of the plants in here, those are all Claire's. Interestingly, we've got a weeping willow here. Can't tell you the full story about that though. It's all looking a lot more green, apart from our paperweight daffodils. They're in the stage of just dying off, so they go back into the bulb, so they're not being watered at the moment. Under here we have various plants, most of them are Claire's. I think there's some fuchsias there. And these are little amaryllis, which are growing into bigger bulbs, so eventually they'll start flowering as well. A couple of roses and other things, not sure what they all are. My indoor carrots are looking good. Give them a little bit of a water before I go in. The first of my indoor potatoes, so they're looking good as well. I'll show you the others in a little bit. Got some red cabbage, which are certainly ready to go out, and also there's some kale there, which again is ready to go out. And you'll notice this is a familiar theme. Sweet peas and a couple of everlasting sweet peas. Over here we've got some French beans, which have not done too well as yet. Me lettuce, which is going nuts, which could do with going out. Over here I've got some cauliflowers, which differently are not quite ready to go out yet. No real sign of the peas that I put in last week just yet, and I wouldn't expect it. And these are Pak Choi, which are ready, potted up, and they'll go out hopefully next week as well. Exhibition onions, they're ready to go out. Some of the flower seeds that I planted a couple of weeks ago, they're not through yet. Next we've got calabrese, not quite ready to go out yet, but not far off. Some more wild seeds that I sowed a couple of weeks ago. Claire's lupins are doing really well. Over here we've got cumin that I sowed a couple of weeks ago, doing well. We've got basil, which I sowed a couple of weeks ago, doing well. And we've got some oregano, which is still tiny. And the other things are grass, so there's grass growing in them. Some more Pak Choi, which didn't quite get planted out into the pots today, and some Kohl Rabi. Got some more onions, they're from sets, and over here we got kale and lettuce, all waiting to go out. Well, unfortunately that concludes Gardening 365 47. Summary of the weekend: weather has been shocking at times, sometimes it's been beautiful. Pets, I've had just about all our pets down here at some point. I've had Spud down here today, very briefly Tez, our other dog. We've had Minnie, she's been asleep in the greenhouse for quite a bit of the day. Bucket the cat made one rare appearance, but the pet of the day, or pet of the weekend, has been Houdini Duck, which has been with me throughout, only because I've got worms. What else? Keep inviting your friends to Facebook. We're about 970 at the moment, so we're just shy of 1,000, which will be an absolute landmark when we get there. Thanks to everybody, and I can't remember all the names. I know Claire, Paul, and one other person has invited lots of their friends to Facebook, so thanks for doing that. Head along to YouTube. We've got a few more subscribers recently, but we want even more, and let's grow our site. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next weekend for Gardening 365 48. Bye. Enjoy your week.